Welcome to the Living Legends. I am Fayaz Qureshi. When one holds a top office in a top organization, it is expected that they will consolidate that position and grow with the business. The idea that one would resign and form an organization that will be in direct competition with their former employer is deemed career and financial suicide. Our guest today went against convention, and his name is now associated with the management of prime property and philanthropy through Cheshire Disability Services Kenya. We speak to a living legend of Kenya's business world, Mr. David Masika. It's so great linking up with you after all these years. It's a very special moment for me.
Same for me.
To be in the same space with you.
Yes.
Of a man I have extremely respected and honored over the years.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, we'll just start off by asking you about your early life, education, and your time at the University of Nairobi.
Well, thank you very much indeed. First of all, let me give you thanks for just giving me this opportunity. First of all, to meet with you, and also just to talk generally, and I hope this will continue. I was born in then Machakos district, but in a place which is now Makueni County. And therefore, my early life was in Makueni, and that's where I went to primary school. When it came to secondary school, I came to school here in Nairobi, but finished up in Western Kenya in Bugoma School, because the practice that time was some students would be exchanged with other students from Nyanza and Western Kenya, with others from Machakos and so on and so on.
That was a very good thing.
Yes, it was a very good thing, because it kind of kills the tribe in you.
The tribalistic issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
You become friends, and
absolutely.
Tribal issues are set aside.
And even now, most of my friends still are from Western, because those are the fellows I played football with. Those are the fellows we danced with. And therefore, that's where I did up to Form 6.
And that's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
That's the world we dream of.
It was stopped.
Yes.
But that was definitely a very good thing. Now, when we started preparing to come to the university, I wanted to do law, because I thought it's best if I were a lawyer. But apparently when I went to Form 5, the English teacher didn't turn up. And therefore, when now we have to prepare for the exams to the university, I could not do English. And therefore, I ended up by being delegated to something different. Now, I looked into the curriculum, for the University of Nairobi, to try to find out whether there was something else I could do. And there was a degree, which there is today, called a BA in Land Economics. And the BA in Land Economics carries a lot of law with it, because you've got to do the law of contract, building, construction. In 4 years, or in the 3 years we are in the university, you still do law. But of course,
So obviously you being inclined towards law, this appealed to you.
Well, I liked law, and therefore, although I could not become a lawyer, but there was a lot of law in it.
So that's why you went for it.
That's why I went for it.
So you specialized specifically in agricultural valuation.
It's agricultural valuation. That's my specialty even today. And so after 2 years, then once I was admitted to the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, then I was free either to practice here or choose something else. But they were wiser than that, because at that particular time I was then sucked into the company now, and became an associate.
Right.
And my friend Abenga now joined us as well.
So when you started, what were the challenges? Yes, John Lloyd joined you in a very controlled setup. You could call it a closed shop.
The challenges were just the normal.
And what opportunities came your way? Challenges must be immense, I'm sure.
As soon as we started, because the people knew us, the valuation work quickly started coming up.
Right.
We thought that all we were going to do was just the valuations. But very quickly we realized you need to have an agency department to be monitoring the market for you. You can calculate things, but you need somebody to tell you, yes, I have sold a house. And then you can analyze that house. and build your knowledge, not just theoretical part of it, and so on and so on. So we started here in urban valuations and me in agricultural valuations.
So you broadened your horizon.
So we broadened our horizons and things like that. And so,
which you had to.
Yes.
To stay within the market.
Yes, that company continued with that. Later on, of course, we'll be joined by engineers, because it's one of the companies that will never try to do what we do not know. And therefore, as for the machinery, we always got an expert to look at the machinery and advise us on the machinery, because it's not just costing it. There is much more obsolescence and things like that. Mm-hmm. And this Lloyd Masika does up to today anyway. What we don't know, we seek support and assistance.
You chair the board of Cheshire Disability Services Kenya. Mm-hmm. Tell us about this institution and the charity you work involved with disabled adults and children.
I thank you very much indeed for bringing this. Now, first, if you remember when we were at the round table, once every month or so, we will raise money for some people with disabilities.
Yes.
And some of our seniors, like Sam Wariu, would be quite active in that. Because at that particular time, I did join Cheshire. Cheshire is an English international organization, which is run from London. Now, from the 40s, they used to have some homes here. Kariobangi Children Home, or Old People's Home, Limuru Children Home, and so on and so on. Dagoretti Children Home, and so on and so on. Now, that is how I was introduced into the Cheshire homes. And so, we started. But as time went on, the London office started becoming less enthusiastic in supporting the homes. In fact, as it starts now, the English have kind of completely changed from supporting the disability completely, feeling that just like for Asians, these people are better off supported by their families, if the families are there. Because in most cases, yes, somebody may need requirement from a family which is not there. So, I would say about 40 years ago, Sam Waruyu, who was the chairman of Cheshire Global Cheshire here, he handed over the company to me. And seeing how things were getting on in London, we negotiated with them to allow us to form our local one here, as opposed to relying on theirs. And they kindly agreed. And when they agreed, we did form CDSK, which is then Cheshire Disability Services. And with that, one of the main reasons was I would not just simply rely on dish outs from London, but I can also seek for assistance from elsewhere. With it, we managed also now to become a member of the Global Alliance of Cheshire Homes, independently now. Independently now. Such that now that the English Cheshire Homes has kind of collapsed or is no longer in operation, it doesn't affect us at all. So we do have our own Cheshire.
So you're a separate entity on your own,
yeah,
but still linked with the overall body as such.
Now, all those after the English collapse, they now formed a global alliance now of the others. So as of now, Cheshire Disability Services, we do have about 5,000 children with disabilities and some homes like Kariobangi Old People's Home, which we do support. So it's now a huge institution. And we do raise funds from all over the world. We do raise funds from Lillian Funds, also from Britain when they have got the money as well. So it's quite a large thing. So as of now, we have about 5,000 children with disabilities that are supported countrywide by Cheshire Homes.
Your political aspirations, I'll let you say it.
That's one thing I never thought I would do in my life, politics. but they say when calling comes, then you got to answer the call. I come from one of the best counties called Makueni. And Makueni, since we devolved into a country, has done extremely well. Now, come 5 years ago, I felt I had experience that can be employed to better certain things in Makueni. And therefore, I brought myself up and said, look, I am available. Let me say, this was not just purely for political. Even before I could come out to campaign, I was still working with the governor wherever he had issues that he thought I could be of assistance. I'll give you an example. When the railways was being done, there were the issues to do with land compensation, and I was involved. When the Thwakedan construction started, there were issues to do with the compensation. And having had that experience, as you remember, which you didn't mention, for about 8 years, I managed Tana and North Rivers Development Authority. And during that time, we put up the Masika Dam, and we put up the Kiambere Dam.
Well then, congratulations.
Thank you.
What an empire you've built.
Yes.
And it's been an extreme pleasure to have interviewed you this afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Let's hope you grow from strength to strength. And all the best in your political aspirations.
I need all the luck on that. It's a new field to me. But even in that, there is a need for somebody with some kind of background. And I believe, given the opportunity, I should be able to move things from where we are forward. Not backward, but forward.
Dare to dream and live your dreams. And when you do so, you help others achieve theirs through simple acts of charity. It has been a pleasure speaking to real estate expert, avid farmer and philanthropist, Mr. David Masika on the Living Legends. I am Fayaz Qureshi. Thank you for joining us.